Hello, thank you for coming to my video. If you would like to help my channel grow, please like and subscribe, and please click on this little bell icon so you never miss a future video. Hey guys, welcome back to the next Mortal Kombat video that we're doing. Real quick, CD down below for how to win this Amazon $25 gift card. Just subscribe following the instructions down below. So this is Mortal Kombat 7, also known as Mortal Kombat Armageddon. This was basically like an amalgamation of all the previous Mortal Kombats and the characters put into one game. So it is the last Mortal Kombat game to... phone just went off. Last Mortal Kombat game in the 6th generation of consoles. It came out after Deception, and it's the last one they made that kind of uses that realistic fighting style. And we'll just kind of go over the gameplay real quick, and then we'll kind of go over some features. I am playing the Xbox version. It is also backwards compatible on the 360, so I'm actually playing on a 360. Really cool thing about the Xbox version is even on the original Xbox console, it plays at native 720p high definition. So you see we got a lot of characters here. There's a couple that are unlockable, and those are the ones that are in the story mode, and they're new characters. I forget the names of them. I've actually never played the story mode in this game. I've always just played the regular game, but it's pretty similar to the previous game, where you just kind of wander around and that kind of thing. It basically explores the backstory of the game. So yeah, I mean, we pretty much got every character. The only character they did not add is Chameleon, the female version of Chameleon from the Mortal Kombat trilogy on Nintendo 64, but they have that in the Nintendo Wii version of the game. So yeah, got all the bosses. The only crappy thing about having all the bosses is Motaro is a Minotaur and not a Centaur. He doesn't have his 4 legs because they don't know how to motion capture a horse. So they got all the bosses from all the previous games. Yeah, I mean, everything looks pretty cool. Even the dumb characters, even the cool characters, even the characters that appeared in previous Mortal Kombats, like spin-offs like Sub-Zero Mythologies. They didn't add Tremor, though. They didn't add Tremor in the Mortal Kombat game until the recent one, Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 10. Of course, you got your Scorpion, your Sub-Zero. We'll start off playing as Cyrax. So, because they added so many more characters, all the characters from every previous game, in the last 2 Mortal Kombat games, especially the previous one, because that's the one where it kind of blended the newer style realistic fighting with the older games where more special moves and fatalities and whatnot. They basically stripped down all the characters' fighting styles to just one fighting style and one weapon style. There's not 2 fighting styles anymore. So basically the second fighting style would go to another character. On one hand, that's really good because it makes the game a little simpler to play. What's bad about it is there's not a lot of depth to each character. So there's really not a lot to it. I don't really know Cyrax's pop-up combo or pop-up hit. But they added to where when you do a pop-up, you could jump up in the air and continue your combo in air. Which kind of looks okay, but I'm really not a fan of it. So we'll go to our moves list. You know, just pretty similar to the previous Mortal Kombat games. You know, shows all the combos and everything. See, like, there's the combos you can do while in air. And there's the combos with your weapon. And then there's the special moves. For whatever stupid reason, they still didn't add Cyrax's net. Even though that's his signature move in the series. But, whatever. It is what it is. Added that, though. That's kind of cool. His teleport. And we'll get to Fatalities in a second, because Fatalities, in my mind, are really disappointing. So, like I said, the original Xbox version plays in native 720p. The PlayStation 2 version, I don't know if it plays at 480p or 480i. I'm pretty sure it just plays at 480i. I could be wrong, though. But PlayStation 2 version had a special edition that included Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which is pretty cool. And, of course, the Nintendo Wii version, which can be played with a standard controller or motion controls. And that's just 480p, though. That's not high definition, because that was not a high definition console at all. Of course, like the previous game. So we'll get to the fatalities here. Every character has pretty much all the same fatalities with some variations. What they did with this game is because there's so many characters, they added a fatality combo system. So it's kind of neat, but on the other hand, a lot of characters will have kind of their own personal fatalities that made the characters unique, and unfortunately, it makes the fatalities in this game kind of bland. So I'm actually, it's kind of neat, but at the same time, I'm also not a fan of it. They remade a lot of stages in this game. You know, like right here's the subway from Mortal Kombat 3. You can see the glowing little red line there at the end, which you can do a instant stage fatality. You know, just like Mortal Kombat Deception. So they brought that back. See if I can pull it off. Not as much detail in a lot of these stages that there was in the previous Mortal Kombats. I don't know if it's because it's games playing in high definition, or if they made the stages in a hurry. There are some stages that they ported over from the previous game or two, so that's kind of cool. But, yeah, for whatever the reason. But same basic gameplay. I mean, you're moving up and down, you're jumping and whatnot. So it's pretty much just an extension of the previous two games. But I think Deception is a much, much better game. Oh, actually, I'll just have him do it to me. Come on, just knock me over. Come on, do the stage fatality. Here's your free shot to kill me. Come on. No, he's not going to do it. I will. Oh well. So the final boss in this game is Blaze. If you remember Mortal Kombat 2 in the pit, you see that guy that's on fire in the background? I don't really know how to play Cyrax in this game, so so I'm just kind of freestyling it here. Oh, there's a special move. Blaze is basically the final boss in the game. The idea was that he was put in place by the Elder Gods, so all the characters and everything becoming too powerful, he would be the safeguard. But if you can kill him, you would basically gain whatever power you desire, some bullcrap like that. I forget the story. So the game became backwards compatible in 360 like 3 months after it came out. I remember picking it up when it came out, and I did not have an Xbox that could play on Xbox Live, so I didn't play it heavily like I did with Mortal Kombat Deception. So I didn't really get into the game until about 3 months down the road when it actually became backwards compatible. So, saw him up again. So we'll show the combo system here. Just kind of string a bunch of fatalities together. You can do like 12 or 13, I think, if you're good enough. I can only do like 6. Kind of looks neat in some areas, but on the other hand, I prefer the previous game. The previous game, Mortal Kombat Deception, I mean, it had the fatalities down perfectly, exactly how I wanted them. But unfortunately, they went to this style. I don't know if it was just development time or what. So yeah, here's another stage recreated from Mortal Kombat 3. So. And all the returning characters that have pretty much been in every Mortal Kombat, with the exception of, you know, Chameleon, the female Chameleon. And I think you can do the stage fatality on this stage, but I don't know how to do it if I remember correctly. And this is a brand new save file because I don't have a save file on my 360, so I don't have a lot of the stages and whatnot unlocked. But we'll finish this round here and I'll show off some more features. But with the exception of the lack of detail compared to the previous games and the stages and whatnot, I mean, it's still got a pretty good amount of detail, but the game looks really good, you know, especially native high definition, which is pretty awesome. It's kind of funny because, you know, the first Mortal Kombat on the 6th generation systems kind of had some slowdown issues, and then Deception played perfectly fine, and then this one's in HD. So.
Round 3. Fight.
I think I've maybe played Cyrax once in this game when it first came out. Oh, there we are. There's the stage fatality. Stage fatalities still look really good. So, we'll go back to the menu. We'll show off some of the stuff in the thing here. So, got Creative Fighter. This is really this is one of the really cool things about this game is the Creative Fighter. It's the first time this was in a Mortal Kombat game, and unfortunately it was the last time. I really like the Creative Fighter in this. It's not like really well done, but if you compare it to a lot of the wrestling video games, I don't know if you guys remember when they first started adding create a wrestler features in wrestling video games in the late 90s. It was kind of unheard of. It was like, wow, that's really cool, especially during the height of the Monday Night Wars between WCW and WWF. The idea that you can make WCW wrestlers in a WWF game or vice versa was really cool. But they weren't really that good. It took about 3 games to come out before the creator wrestlers in the games would get really good. So for this game, even though it's a first attempt, it's actually really good for a first attempt. So of course, you know, you could customize your appearance, just different presets and whatnot. Your Mike Kaido. Yeah, you can name your martial arts and edit your stance, your presets. There we go. Sure, do something a little aggressive. You can edit a lot of the individual moves, some of the combos themselves. See. Yeah, we already got to that one. Weapon style. So you can do like a sword or whatnot. Kind of looks like Frostmourne from World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. So. Devastator, I like the name of that. Oh, it basically loops around. And of course, your special moves. I like this. A lot of the stuff you have to unlock with coins, which of course the coins you get from playing the story mode or completing the arcade mode, you know, whether single player or online. Get different fireballs and projectiles and you know, some stuff, of course, based off of other characters. Like here's Liu Kang's fireballs. There's sectors, missiles. Let's see, where if we can find it. That's Shao Kahn's move. There's sectors move. That's Havoc's. That he craps it out. That actually kicks it out. I forgot whose move that is. It's actually stupid. But, it is what it is. I think that is Sindel's move. Let's see, what else we got? That's... So, of course, each on a sign has like different variations. Some of Liu Kang's moves right there. And of course that's Melina's move. Johnny Cage's move. And I believe that's Raiden's move. There's Sub-Zero's shoulder tackle thing. So you can actually make some characters from other fighting games and make them kind of accurate. Not too bad. So... a lot of cool variations here. There we go. You got throw Scorpion Spear, Sub-Zero's Ice. I think the first character I ever made was I made a human version of Smoke that was similar to Mortal Kombat 2. Let's see, I forget whose move that is. And, oh, this is taunt. Like, you can taunt your opponent. Edit your throw. So it's pretty cool. It's not too bad. Their victory poses and kind of come up with like a little backstory and whatnot. Nothing too fancy. But you know, it's a decent amount of stuff in this game. There you go, make him like He-Man. And I think the original, yeah, in fact there it is right there. Mortal Kombat 1 style ninja outfit. And Mortal Kombat 3 style ninja outfit. So. Yeah, we're not going to bother saving this. But yeah, I mean, that's Creative Fighter. That's kind of cool. Conquest, of course, is your basic story mode. Previous Mortal Kombat game had some cool extras. You know, had that puzzle mode and had that chess mode. This game did something pretty crazy. It had a Mario Kart style game built in, so it was actually kind of neat. It wasn't too bad of a game. I mean, it can never stand alone on its own. I mean, you can never charge $40 or $60 for this, for just motor combat on its own. But for a nice little extra, it was actually a lot of fun. We'll play a little bit of it right here. Then we'll go back to just regular Mortal Kombat. Oh, that was the break. I'm trying to remember. Let's see here. Oops. See there, you can actually. Oh, the Fatalities in the middle of that. Oops. Yeah, so you actually kind of do that little like swipe move there and knock your opponent into something. So I thought there was some stuff, I think it's those stars or something, that you can get some weapons using your opponent. It says to bump into him to use the bomb, so I'm trying to bump into someone. Oh, no. It's A, so you use A to do that. Oh, I see. The bump has a cooldown. That's what that is. Alrighty. It plays pretty smooth, too. I mean, it's not overly complex or anything like that, but, you know, it's a nice, fun little game. You never know, they may bring it back like as a mobile game or something like that, who knows. Seems like I remember other weapons. Actually, I think the weapons you grab are dependent on the character you race as.
Final lap.
So because I'm Cyrax, I'm doing the bomb every time. That makes sense. So yeah, that's Motor Combat. A nice little mini game built into Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Of course, you got your Xbox Live, which unfortunately no longer works because can't play old games on the older Xbox games on Xbox Live anymore. I don't know if the Wii version had online play or not. But Crypt, just like the previous games where you use your coins to unlock extras and concept art and stages and whatnot. And of course, extras is where you view it and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go back and play another quick arcade game real quick and then we'll wrap it up. I'll play Scorpion just because that's the character I'm most familiar with in this game. If you remember my last video, where I had, I was also playing Mortal Kombat Unchained on the PSP, this little thing right here with Blaze, and kind of goes back to this classic style tower. That game also has that as well.
Round one. Fight.
I really avoid the pop-up combos, actually. Or not the pop-up, but the air combos. They kind of made a... I remember them making a big deal out of them during the trailers and everything when this game was coming out. But I just remember this game not being as big of a deal as Mortal Kombat Deception, unfortunately. Or maybe it was, but it just didn't interest me as much. But I do remember Ed Boon getting together with the Xbox people a lot during development because he really wanted this game to be backwards compatible. Oh, I didn't do the final fatality. So it's not, the fatality's not going to count. So you got to do like the final fatality where you actually kill them, you know, rip their head off or some darn thing. I think there are some variations to that fatality system depending on your character's special weapon. You know, like Scorpion's got his sword here. Another cool recreated stage from Mortal Kombat 3. And also Mortal Kombat Gold. So yeah, I wasn't a super huge fan of this game, so I didn't really play a lot of it. I played on Twitch when I do like the Mortal Kombat series Let's Plays. But it's not as in-depth of a fighting game as the previous games. There's not really a lot to it. So I'm just going to do just a basic, simple fatality. Doesn't have like that cool camera angle or anything like that. Just a basic versus camera angle. So unfortunately, there's not really much more to it than that. And some of the stage music for the new stages, I'm just not a fan of either. It doesn't have that Mortal Kombat vibe to it. Previous game did, but this one does not. And I never bothered to grab the weapons in the middle of the stages. Still a little bit of jiggle physics with the boobs in this game. Not as much as Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, though, but it's still got some decent boob jiggle physics. Every good fighting game should have good boob jiggle physics. And if they take them out in sequels, dead or alive, excuse me, then it's a travesty.
Fatality.
Of course, it has that little versus fighting screen from Mortal Kombat 3 and 4, so they kind of brought that back. So that's kind of cool. Johnny Cage is kind of being a pain. So not too much more to talk about with this game that we haven't talked about already. Especially with the previous videos. So like every character, or almost every character, can do that same fatality. So it's disappointing. To be honest, when this game came out, it was a little disappointing. It had some cool stuff about it, but the best Mortal Kombat game of this generation of consoles is probably Mortal Kombat Unchained on the PSP. Because Deception was obviously the best one, and Unchained had just a little more extra characters and whatnot to it, so. But it is what it is. And Havoc here, which, if you played Deception and unlocked a lot of the concept art, has a lot of the stuff, and I think interviews as well, that Havoc was originally a redesign of Noob Saibot. But he was basically too different. Like, when they redesigned him, they realized, oh crap, this is way too different. So they basically made him a new character. He's all right. He's not too bad of a character, but he's a weird character. Of course, you still have the combo breakers. You know, got the 2 lightning bolts there. Game's definitely more of an extension of Mortal Kombat Deception than Deadly Alliance.
Round 3. Fight!
Just yanks her head right off. Oh, someone's on her way home. Cool. Of course, they recreate this stage from Mortal Kombat 2. But I am not a fan of the music. Very dull and boring. You know, Mortal Kombat 2's music for this stage was more actiony. I wish they would have just ported it over. I like how they added all the death traps everywhere, so that's kind of cool. Trying to remember to do his throw. If I remember correctly, I can do his throw. Come on, just let me do the throw. Just let me throw you once. Ah.
Round 3. Fight!
The throw incorporates the spear, so that's kind of cool. Let's see, can we get him in the acid? Oh, not close enough. Let's see how many more fights I got. Okay, so now we're at the sub-boss, which the sub-boss will basically be any sub-boss or boss from a previous game, which in this case is going to give me Goro. And some of the projectiles will work on some sub-bosses, some won't on others. And some of these sub-bosses are just a pain in the butt. Okay, there we go. I remember how to do this now. Just do this cheap little 4-hit combo. And just repeat it and spam it. Same way you beat the final boss with him. Ugh. Stop breaking my combos.
Fatality.
Then we go to the final boss, which is Blaze. Of course, Blaze has gotten a burly upgrade from the background character to Mortal Kombat 2, and also a secret character in, I think, Deadly Alliance. Basically, just do a little quick combo here. Just kind of try and sidestep them. And just kind of loop this around. Oh, there we go. Sometimes he's a little tricky, sometimes you can get these little cheap combos on him.
Round 2. Fight.
See, I'm trying to walk up and sidestep whatever little quick jab he throws. Not really working out too well, but that rolling attack is cheap, and he's being super cheap. There we go. No more combo breakers.
Round 3. Fight.
If you throw the spear, I think he just takes it out and throws it out of him, and, like, it just doesn't phase him. I don't know if Blaze is playable in this game. I think he is. I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, there we go. That's it. That is Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory.
Then it cuts to the ending, and every character has the same ending, basically. I mean, it's a different story. It'll basically show like a little backstory, or not the backstory, but it'll show like the ending of what happens when they beat the game. Which, if you, spoiler it, if you play Mortal Kombat 9 for the next generation of systems, you know that Shao Kahn is the one that actually does all this, which leads to Raiden doing his little spell that affects the past and all that kind of stuff. But the endings, it's basically your character fighting on top of the pyramid, doing like little martial arts movements, and that's it. It's same ending for every character, no cutscenes or anything like that. So it's a little disappointing. And maybe they just didn't have enough time to make a cutscene ending for so many characters. But it is what it is. So yeah, that is Mortal Kombat Armageddon, also known as Mortal Kombat 7. Let me know what you think about it. Are you as disappointed with this Mortal Kombat as I was, or do you actually like it? I think it's okay. I'm disappointed with it, but it was okay in its own right. Kind of better than Deadly Alliance, but Deadly Alliance was just a better game. So yeah, let me know what you think as we head towards our goal of 4,000 subscribers, and I will see you guys next time.